All right, hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Yahweh Kodash. Double honors and salutations to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to you brothers out on the highways and byways pushing this truth with fear and sincerity. And shalom to the whole elect. It's your brother Khalak Har coming back at you with another video. And yesterday I did a video on Venezuela and the U.S., getting ready for war, rumors of war, noises, rumors, we'll see what comes from it. A lot of talk is about, the BRICS nation. The BRICS nation, China, BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, China, or Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which they're, beginning to build their alliances with each other with this digital currency, BRICS currency. And then Venezuela, right? Venezuela has the largest reserve of oil, right? I got that right here. Venezuela itself has the largest reserve of oil. So with that said, and they're part of the BRICS nation. I'm pretty sure they're part of the BRICS nation. So Russia, Iran, China, they all are part of the BRICS nation as well. Russia, Iran, China, Iraq. And what America want to do is get in there and interrupt that, that oil reserve, or, confiscate the oil reserve to make it theirs, so they don't have to, they don't have to trade in that currency, right? Because that's a lot of money. When you read this chart right here, it says crude oil reserves versus exports. Venezuela holds the world's largest proven oil reserves, more than 5 times the United States. But in 2023, the U.S. exported about 125 billion of crude, far more than sanction hit Venezuela, right? So because of the sanctions, right, that this administration, Nero 47, this cruel lord, right, that's trying to embark his way on the nations, right? The Lord is using Nero 47, through the wicked elite, of course, because he's just a puppet. But nevertheless, he's been used to bring hell upon earth, take peace from the earth. As a matter of fact, was it Revelation 6 and 4? Yeah, Revelation 6 and 4 start at 3. And when I opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red. That's Esau, Edom. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, right? His blessing, that great sword. Let's read in the NLT. It says, "Then another horse appeared, a red one. Its rider was given a mighty sword and the authority to take peace from the earth. And there was war and slaughter everywhere." And that's what you're seeing, in the world today, from from the Edomites, whether it be Russia, because they're Edomites as well, right? And they're killing upon other Edomites, small hat Edomites. But you got this red horse also in the Gaza Strip, the Palestinians bombing them out, remigration. You got Nero 47 here in the land in Babylon the Great, remigrating the Northern Kingdom, sending them to various different countries in South America or wherever, so a lot of peace, is being taken from the earth, which this is the beginning of sorrows. A lot of things are going to continue to happen on this rate. We're about to go into 2026. 2025 was one hell of a year, right? They coined it. Nero 47 said accomplished a lot of things in 2025. Yeah, because in 2025, this was the moving parts to what? To that MOTB, getting everything in order for the MOTB. Now, they got a lot of Black Swan events that got to come to pass this next year to further usher in surveillance, heavy surveillance. You know, you got Google, you got YouTube, you got Facebook, you got Meta looking into your DMs and your emails now coming December 16th. So a lot of things are taking place on the earth right before so-called 2026, because we know this is not the true time that's in the world today, because we go off this Gregorian calendar. But nevertheless, peace, right, is being taken from the earth, right? More squeeze, more financial instability, more hardships, more people losing jobs, more war, more famine, more death, you name it, is going to keep rising up, Going back to this crude oil, right? Venezuela sits on a lot, but they wasn't able to get a lot of it out. So they just have a reserved oil just sitting there. And this is what Nero 47, Department of War, this is why they are raging war, because they've been given that sword. Look at the sword. The modern day sword is these bombs, these these drones, these satellites, these missiles that it can use on individuals, right? I.e., you see what they're doing, and they're justifying their killing, the unaliving with boats, saying it's a war on drugs, when we know who the big the big drug dealers are, right? Crazy times we're living in. That's why it's stay circumspect. Stay circumspect. Salakia. But going back to Russia and the EU, Russia said is ready for war, right? Russia is ready. They're ready to make it happen. Let's look at a couple videos. And Salakia, yesterday, I had in my other video on the U.S. and Venezuela, the 7 heads. I forgot one, and it was Spain. So Spain, Portugal, British, Germany Major, Germany Minor, Greek, and Italy. That's 7. And then you got the 10, which is the ECC, which now is the EU, right? So that's probably more than 20-something countries now. But I just had to clarify that because I missed that yesterday. I was missing Spain. But nevertheless, let's get these videos.
Developing news coming out in the past couple of hours today, December 2nd, 2020. Some pretty intense developing news coming out in the past couple of hours today, December 2nd, 2025. As take a look at the latest headlines with me. Putin says that if Europe wants war, then Russia is ready. Putin sends a chilling World War III threat to the UK hours before peace talks. He says, "We are ready to fight." World War III fears as Russia warns of a full-scale nuclear war after NATO threat. Russia is ready for war with Europe, Putin says. We will target tankers of countries helping Ukraine. And Putin says Russia is ready for war if Europe wants it. All of this just coming out in the past couple of hours today, December 2nd, 2025, as we are hearing that things are intensifying. And take a look. We saw that meeting take place with the United States and Russia today. I'm going to share with you the video footage. Putin shows little sign of compromise as he meets U.S. for Ukraine talks. No compromise on territory after Ukraine talks with the United States, Russian officials say. Russia-U.S. talks on Ukraine peace plan, constructive, but no compromise reached on territory, says the Kremlin. And
Russia is saying that the EU, right, they're trying to compromise the peace deals when there would never be no peace for the wicked, right? As much as they like to call on peace, right, there will never be no peace for the wicked. It's Isaiah 48. In verse 22, it says, there is no peace, saith the Lord Yahweh, unto the wicked. So there ain't gonna never be no peace. As much as they like to go back and forth, we're trying to reach a peace deal. We're trying to, no, they're trying to reach world dominance, right? America was the world dominance power since basically World War II, right? Complete world dominance, right? In World War II, 1940, 1940, 39 to 45, somewhere around that. And then the 50s, the golden age. And then come the 60s, right around about 68, 69. That's when this truth sprung out in the earth after those 3.5 days, right? And then that's when you got the hippie movement, people love, stop war. America was all about war, taking whatever they wanted, doing whatever they wanted. Now you got a group of people, in the 70s and telling you to stop the war and love and peace, the hippie era, right? Which falls into the crack epidemic, right? Heavy drugs, heroin, crack, cocaine. Which you go into the 90s, and then the 2000s. This place has been dwindling ever since, right? Because of this truth. And now we're in 2025 going into 2026. If you can't see that we almost out of here, then this isn't for you, man. This isn't for you, right? We're rejoicing. Rejoice, O heavens, because this American experience, this Babylon experience, this hellhole that we're in, this trap, this wicked, this horrible dream that we can't wake up from, right? It's almost over. You can kiss this shit goodbye because ain't nothing here. But there ain't going to be no peace at all to the wicked. Also, everybody knows this scripture, 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. So here they is. We're trying to, Putin says he's trying to have peace with Ukraine, which he's not, right? Ezekiel 38 tell you that. We'll get that. They're trying to be peace with Ukraine, but he says NATO, the EU, is trying to interrupt that. Right? So that's why sudden destruction come upon them. The Lord, I'm going to come back to that. The Lord worketh the minds of the kings, right? Is it Proverbs 24? Or 26? Is it 21? Proverbs 21? Yeah, Proverbs 21:1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord Yahweh pondereth the hearts. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to Yahweh than sacrifice. Right? So the king's heart, his spirit, is in the hand of the Lord. So these kings, the Lord is stirring up the hearts of these kings, man. Right? They're not backing down. They're not turning around. They're not retreating. They're staying put to what they want to do, how they want to do it, and you can't sway them no matter what. So all of these peace talks, all of these negotiations, all of these everything that these other countries say they're going to try to do, it's not going to work. Because there's no peace to the wicked. Who's the wicked? Esau, Edom, right? Esau, Edom. Malachi 1:1, the burden of the word of the Lord Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord Yahweh. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord Yahweh. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, Lord of armies. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. The Lord has indignation against the wicked forever. Same thing with, remember, Exodus 17. Who came against the Israelites in the wilderness? Amalek, Esau's grandson. So the Lord got a bone to pick, right? You're going to be wiped out. You're going to be liquidated, pushed off the map. Going back to 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travaileth upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that ye should Salakia. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should not overtake you as a thief. You are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor the darkness. We have this understanding. We are the light. We can see plain as day. We can see that the Lord is going to destroy this place. We can see that the Lord is going to use Russia to destroy that small, tiny state, a small hat village, right? He's going to use these other countries, the beast system, the beast, NATO and the EU is going to be used along with these other countries, i.e. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, are going to blow up this place. They're going to shoot missiles at this place. They're going to leave this place desolate, right? But the Lord is stirring up the Medes, man. He's stirring up the Medes, right? Jeremiah 51:11. Start at 10. Jeremiah 51:10. The Lord Yahweh have brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord Yahweh, our power. Like, hey, we're declaring, right? Let me look up that word declare real quick. Sapar. To count, to recount. Remember in 2nd Esdras 9, right? Measuring the times. 2nd Esdras 9. Because I just saw count. He answered me, 2nd Esdras 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest parts of the signs past, which I have told thee before, measure the time, right? It says sapar, to count, to recount, to relate, to count things, to number, to take account of, right? To take account of, to be counted, to be numbered, to rehearse, declare, recount something, rehearse, to talk, to count exactly or accurately, to be recounted, to be rehearsed, be related. So, like it says in verse 10, Jeremiah 51:10, the Lord Yahweh have brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us count in Zion, right? Recount, sapar, the work of the Lord Yahweh, our power, right? We understand, like I was just saying, we through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, we have this understanding, this glorious heavenly gift, and we're able to declare it. We're able to count it. We're able to measure the times. We're able to take out that spiritual ruler stick and see what's going on. That's why we can make statements like this, right? Going back to the scriptures and reverting back to the scriptures, Jeremiah 51:11, make bright the arrows, gather the shields, the Lord Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes. Who is that? That's Russia. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. Set up a standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, right? We the watchmen going back to that Sapar to count, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord Yahweh have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Let's finish this. Oh, shit.
Some pretty intense developing
I think it was like right here.
Ukraine talks. No compromise on territory after Ukraine talks with the United States, Russian officials say. Russia-U.S. talks on Ukraine peace plan constructive, but no compromise reached on territory, says the Kremlin. And the Kremlin calls talks with Witkoff useful, but says no compromise on Ukraine has been found. And we're hearing that there have been war threats and things have been intensifying with the negotiations, and it looks like things are just not coming to a conclusion with the war with Russia and Ukraine. They're saying Russia is not budging. Let me know your thoughts. Russia issuing out these war threats prior to the deals, the negotiation talks. Do you think that we're going to be seeing war entering into 2026, or are we going to be seeing peace? Let me know what you think is around the corner. Drop it in the comments, war or peace. What do you think is about to unfold next? As we are hearing that right before this meeting, Russia says, if you want a war, we're ready for it. In fact, we're ready for World War III. In fact, we're ready for full-scale nuclear attacks. You just let us know what decision you want to make. Some pretty intense developing.
And you know he ain't bluffing. Russia is not bluffing. Right? They're building up their arsenal. They're ready to push the button. Right? Remember, the Lord is stirring up the minds of the kings. Right? The Lord is stirring it up. Ezekiel 38, starting at the top. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog. Right? This is Russia. Inside Russia. Russia of Russia. The chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. You know, these are ancient lands to the Japhetic people. It says, and say, thus say the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Right? All of them handling swords, bucklers and shields. This is all out nuclear. You know? The sword. All of them handling swords. Remember we read that great sword was given to the red horse. Horses and horsemen. We read that in Revelation the 6th chapter. It was taking peace from the earth. Right? The Lord is using Russia. Right? Is what the Lord does. It's how the Lord get down. He use another nation to come against you. Right? He used this nation to come against us. Esau, Edom. Right? And we can't wait to get out of the yoke from around our necks. You know, Esau, Edom. But, you know, having this truth, we're free. Right? We're free in spirit. We're not caged in this rat race, this hamster wheel, trying to get it inside of Babylon the Great. As this place is burning down, right? We're not trying to gather all the plunder, the silver, the gold, all of that, and put it in a sack and get on a chariot with it. You niggas are crazy, man. Trying to take the crumbs from Babylon the Great. Trying to get numbers. When this Stinger virus is about it's about the elect, the short, the small, the remnant, the residue, the leftover. This is only for the elect of the nation of Israel, not for 2/3 of our nation, not for the whole nation, just 1/3 of the nation. That's 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe, and 1/3 women, men, and children. And there's going to be more women and children than men, because you already got the 144,000. So again, these other camps, they're not teaching the right stuff, man. And they're going to be destroyed for it. Point blank, period. There's only one truth. 2 plus 2 is always 4.
Over Ukraine. How did they go? So, Russia and the United States held talks today over Ukraine. How did they go? Well, no peace deal came out of it. They did say it was progressive, but they couldn't make any kind of gains on territorial disputes. This has prompted Putin to say that Europe is sabotaging talks between the United States and Russia, and that if Europe is really that ready to fight that bad, that he's ready to fight now. Not in 2029, not in 2030, not in 2028. He's ready to fight right now, saying that they're on the side of war, and we can clearly see that all these changes are aimed at only one thing: to block the entire peace process altogether, to make such demands which are absolutely unacceptable to Russia. If Europe suddenly wants to start a war with us and starts it, Putin said, that it will end so swiftly for Europe that there will be no one to negotiate within Europe, meaning they'd be wiped off the face of the earth, if y'all know what I mean. He also threatened to stop Ukraine's access into the Black Sea and said that he's going to start attacking Ukrainian tankers and their backers. So that means the Western tankers. There was also a confrontation between China and Japan's coast guards near a disputed island, which this island was the Senkaku Islands, which both Japan and China claim, and now they're starting to clash because Japan said they will protect Taiwan, and China's been getting a lot more aggressive towards Japan and telling them to take back the statement or things are going to get worse. And there's been a lot of other things that kind of heighten these tensions, but this is the latest. Just wanted to show the proof of my last video.
Yeah, so more and more confrontations are happening in the earth. You know, Russia, Ukraine, Iran, U.S., Venezuela. Is going to continue to happen, right? To Lord dismantle this place. Jeremiah 50 and verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations, right? The beast from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her, right? That north country is Russia. From hence she shall be taken, their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain, right? None shall return in vain. I believe in Joel, the 2nd chapter. Let me just get straight to it. Straight to it. Joel 2 and 8. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Let me go up a little bit. Joel 2 and 7, it says, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Right? Talking about these arrows, these missiles. They're not going to detonate, or they're not going to lose power. Right? Yahweh's spirit is going to be in them. As a matter of fact, in the Apocrypha, at in Edges, what does it say? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's reminding me of 2nd Edges about the missiles. But nevertheless, going back to Jeremiah 50 and verse 9 again. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. Remember, the beast shall hate the whore from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. For thence she shall be taken, their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And the Chaldean shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord Yahweh. Right? Let's get Ezekiel 21 and 31. Ezekiel 21 and 31. I like that. It says, I will pour out my indignation upon thee. I will blow against thee, Babylon, in the fire of my wrath, and deliver thee into the hand of the brutish men and skillful to destroy. Thou shalt be for fuel to the fire. Thy blood shall be in the midst of the land. Thou shalt be no more remembered, for I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken it. So the Lord is going to do work, man. Right? He's stirring up the Medes. The Lord is a man of war, Exodus 15:3. He's stirring up the Medes, right? Isaiah 13, it says that. They stir up the Medes, right? Russia. The Lord is going to send evil towards this place, man. Right? Russia and the EU are having talks now, right, about war. But we know the end all be all at the end of this thing, right? So, hope you was edified. Hope you got something out of this. Hope to see you on the next video. Lord willing, shalom.